This video is how to change the impeller on the Hydrojet lazy spar units. So to start with, you need to unscrew these screws all the way around, and then lift off the top, and be really careful when you do. The control panel for this part has a cable which you just need to disconnect. So the cable is there, and you just disconnect that plug and then pop the top down. Once you've got the top off the unit, this is what you'll kind of come across. There's two types that I've come across of this same model. One has a black top there, and the air pump, which this is actually unattached at the moment because I use it to pump up mine. This is a spare egg. That's a different colour. It's got like a green bit on the top with the filter in it. So next, you want to undo these screws there. That then comes off. The pump itself is located there. So all you need are obviously, posi drive screwdriver and a flat bladed screwdriver, a long one preferably. Then you disconnect that out of there. That just unscrews. Obviously I've done it before this. And the wiring you're taking out, you need to take the mains cable out. Just make sure you know which ones these go to, because some of them tell you and some of them don't. The other model does. So it's the C1 and C2 there. So make sure you get those the right way around when you put it back together. And the earth wire is there, already disconnected. So you disconnect that. Then we're removing this out of there, so you get that free slack in that. Because what you have to do is separate the bottom of the egg away from it. So then I roll this egg on its left side, which I'll do now. Now the egg is on its left side, I separate the bottom, and because that cable's disconnected, just pull that through. That's absolutely fine. We can get that bit out. So now that gives us this is the pump. This is exactly where we're at. So that clip goes on there, flat bladed. That one on there, which you get to from this side. You get to that from there. And literally, once you've undone those, which I have already undone these, it pulls out. And this one, just one sec, and that one pulls out of there. Then the pump is in my hand. Right, so the new impeller that I've found to be the best, I've done this a couple of times now, are these type off eBay, but the spacing is totally wrong. So you need to space the bottom a bit higher, and what I use for that is I've chopped a really small amount of pipe down, and I just add that onto the bottom. So that's it. That piece of pipe is now added on. If you don't, what it'll do is it'll catch. If you look in there, the actual impeller is right in the middle, and otherwise if you don't add that in, it sits too low and catches, and it'll just go and sound absolutely horrible. Too high, and obviously it's the other way around. So I'll strip this down now and show you exactly what you need to do. So I've taken all those screws out. I'm really sorry about this because I've not actually got anything. This is just a phone that I'm using. I've got nothing no tripod or anything. So you take the top off, and that's what you've got inside. Then you pull the impeller out. You should have a piece of rubber on, which you do. And this seal there will come out. You can use a little tiny screwdriver to pop that out, which I should have got out of my toolbox, but never mind. Right, so you're checking down there for any damage. You can run your finger in. Now sometimes you can get like a little nick in there, and they'll still work, but it'll sound noisy. Now if you see the height of what that's set at there, that's the original, that is a genuine impeller. That's nice. And the aftermarket ones that you get off eBay. Now, can you see that? It's very similar sort of height and lots of clearance. If you don't space that out, it collides straight with that casing. Just another little idea, I did have some pipe, but if you didn't, you get with the impeller a new set of these locating rubbers. Now you could just sort of trim the end off there and use one of the new rubbers, you know, to space it out. So once you've done this, a new one obviously in there. Now, your new gasket is absolutely essential. Now I'm not doing it with this because this is just a spare unit, but you get some Vaseline and you coat that gasket totally Vaseline and just run a little smear of it all the way around, and then put it back together, otherwise it won't seal very well. Put the screws back in. Once you've got that back together, that's it. It's like blue paint. This is one I prepared earlier. Right, so that is the new impeller in that pump now. Those I've nipped up, I've not gone crazy, I've just given them a nip. So they're tight, but they're not, I'm not going to crack it. And then it's time to put it back together. So you literally, like that, bang that one on there, and then that one goes onto there, and then you just literally nip the clips up. Putting it back together, that's all tightened up. Make sure you get the clips in the same place that they were to start with. Then you want to poke that up there, and a little tip is get that plugged in and screwed on first, because once that clip falls down, this little tightening nut bit goes off down and it's a struggle to get back up. It's not impossible, but it just makes life harder. So get that plugged in first. Right, so it's now time to put the egg back together and putting the bottom on. You want to get the cable through that hole, through there. So I'll just do that. So literally once you get that through there, that cable, the main cable, you just literally clip the egg back together. That wire there that comes out there, you do not need to disconnect it, you just slide that off. And then just pop that in there. Obviously there's another screw goes in there as well. Tighten that down. And then connect these back up. Remember C1, C2, make sure they go the right way around. Tighten those back down. The earth goes on there. You then put in once you've done all that, you put in your plastic piece back on, screw that down, top of the egg on, make sure you connect up the display unit and the control panel, and that is it. You're pretty much, you're done then, it's good to go.